The smell of lemon and garlic clung to the kitchen air like a secret. Pans sizzled, knives clattered, and in the back corner, under the hum of the industrial dishwasher, Noel de la Peña scrubbed plates as if he were polishing memories. He used to wear the white coat of a chef, crisp, proud, lined with purpose. Now he wore an apron soaked in soap and humility. The fine dining restaurant in downtown Los Angeles, Maison du Soleil, had once been his dream workplace. But dreams had a way of shrinking under budget cuts and new management. "Noel," Chef Marcus had said weeks ago, eyes soft but unbending, "it's not your fault. We're letting go of the junior kitchen staff. We'll keep you on as a dishwasher, if you want." Noel had smiled then, even if it broke him. "Of course, Chef. I'll stay. I need the work." So he did. Every morning he came in before dawn, washed the vegetables, cleaned the prep tables, and kept the kitchen alive before the others arrived. When the restaurant opened its golden doors for Los Angeles elite, Noel was already in the back, scrubbing away the evidence of chaos. He rarely spoke. When the sous chefs barked orders, he nodded. When servers dropped dirty plates with barely a glance, he smiled faintly. But every once in a while, when the air grew heavy and everyone's patience wore thin, he'd hum an old Visayan song. One of the younger line cooks, Diego, noticed it first. "Hey man," he said one afternoon, handing Noel a tray of pots. "What's that song? You sing that every day." Noel chuckled, dipping his hands back into the warm water. "It's just a song from home. Reminds me of my mother's kitchen. Small, noisy, and always smells like soup." "Soup?" Diego grinned. "You mean ramen or something?" Noel smiled wider. "No, sinigang." Diego blinked. "Sini what?" "Sinigang," Noel said, savoring the word. "Sour soup, with pork, or shrimp, or sometimes fish. My favorite is pork, with tomatoes, kangkong, and tamarind. Back home, it's what you eat when it rains." "Sounds kinda weird," Diego said. "Sour soup?" Noel laughed softly. "Maybe, but it feels like home." Weeks passed. The restaurant buzzed with activity as awards season neared. Celebrities dined there. Food critics whispered in corners. And through it all, Noel kept scrubbing, wiping, and quietly humming. Then came a Tuesday that felt heavier than usual. Chef Marcus announced a last-minute menu change for a VIP guest. Everyone was tense. Orders flew like bullets. Pans hit the floor. Someone burned the bechamel. Another forgot the garnish. When lunch finally ended, the kitchen looked like a battlefield. Diego slumped beside Noel near the dish pit. "Man, I'm starving. We didn't even get a break today." Noel glanced at the leftover vegetables from prep. Onions, tomatoes, bits of pork belly that were too fatty for the fine plates. He thought about how his mother used to say, "Walang tapon sa kusina." Every scrap can become a story. He hesitated for a moment. Then he asked quietly, "Can I use the stove?" Diego shrugged. "Go for it. Just make it quick before Chef comes back." Noel started chopping. The sound was rhythmic, meditative. The others watched curiously as he worked in silence. Tomatoes sizzled in oil. Garlic browned. He dropped in pork belly pieces, letting them render and crisp. The air filled with a smell none of them recognized, tangy, earthy, deeply comforting. "What are you cooking, Noel?" one of the servers asked, poking her head in. "Sinigang," he replied. "You'll see." He poured in water, added tamarind paste he had brought from home, then a few green beans and spinach. The kitchen slowly filled with the aroma, unfamiliar yet inviting. One by one, the exhausted cooks gathered around. "Try," Noel said simply, ladling soup into paper cups. They sipped. At first, silence. Then, one of the pastry assistants, a Frenchwoman named Camille, blinked in surprise. "It's comforting," she said, "like something you eat when you miss someone." Diego laughed. "Man, that's wild. It's sour, but it makes me feel warm inside." Noel smiled quietly. That's sinigang. It's supposed to taste like homesickness, but in a good way. They laughed, but there was something deeper in the air. The soup wasn't fancy. It didn't belong in a Michelin restaurant, but it carried soul, something the butter sauces and foie gras couldn't match. When Chef Marcus returned, the staff froze. He sniffed the air, frowning. "What's that smell?" Noel cooked something," Diego said nervously. "Staff lunch." Marcus approached the pot, dipped a spoon, and tasted. He paused, then took another spoonful, and another. "What is this?" he asked. "Sinigang, chef," Noel said softly. "It's Filipino soup." Marcus looked at him for a long moment. Simple, but he tasted again. Balanced, honest, feels like a story. Noel didn't know what to say. He just smiled. From that day on, every Friday became staff meal day. Noel would bring ingredients, and after service, he'd cook sinigang, adobo, or sometimes pancit. The staff started calling it Filipino Fridays. Everyone looked forward to it, even the grumpy head waiter. One evening, a well-known food critic came in unexpectedly. The kitchen was understaffed. Marcus was in a meeting, and orders were piling up. They needed a lunch special fast, something hearty, not pretentious. Diego whispered to Marcus, "Chef, what if we serve Noel's sinigang?" Marcus blinked. "What?" "The one he cooks for us. Everyone loves it. It's real food." The chef hesitated. Maison du Soleil was famous for its elegant dishes: truffle risotto, lobster bisque, foie gras brûlée. A humble Filipino soup didn't fit, but something about the idea felt right. He nodded slowly. "Fine, let's do it," but played it with care. When the critic's bowl arrived, served in white porcelain with delicate microgreens, the entire kitchen held its breath. She took one spoonful, then another. Then she called the manager over. "This is unexpected," she said. "Rustic, honest, beautifully sour. What's it called?" "Sinigang," the manager replied, "a Filipino dish." The next morning, the review appeared online. Maison du Soleil surprises with soulful Filipino-inspired lunch special, a reminder that fine dining should never forget its heart. The dish sold out that weekend. Chef Marcus approached Noel after closing time. "You've done something special, Noel," he said. "We'll feature it next week as a special of the week." Noel froze. "Chef? Really?" Marcus smiled. "Really? People loved it. I want them to know it came from you." Noel's throat tightened. "Thank you, chef, but maybe just put staff-inspired dish." Marcus raised an eyebrow. "Why not take the credit?" Noel looked down at his worn apron. "Because it's not about me, it's about home." The following week, the menu read, staff-inspired soup, sinigang, a Filipino tamarind stew. Customers asked about it. Some pronounced it wrong, sinigang. Others asked what tamarind was. But once they tasted it, their faces softened. A lawyer from Beverly Hills said, "Reminds me of my grandmother's soup in Poland." A young actor whispered, "This feels like comfort in a bowl." Even the restaurant owner, usually detached and calculating, finished his portion quietly and said, "We should do more of this. More food that feels like someone actually cooked it." Noel didn't chase fame. He didn't even tell his friends back home. He just kept coming to work, early as always, washing dishes, humming songs, and quietly preparing ingredients on Fridays. But things had changed. When he walked into the kitchen, people greeted him now. "Morning, Chef Noel." "Hey, what's the soup today? Got any of that magic sinigang, man?" The same hands that once threw plates now clapped him on the back. The same mouths that once barked orders now said, "Thank you." Months later, Noel received a small envelope from the management. Inside was a promotion: kitchen assistant, staff meal lead. It wasn't glamorous, but it was his name on paper again. His title, his respect. That night, As the staff sat together eating sinigang by the dim kitchen lights, Diego raised a spoon and said, "To Noel, who proved that soul beats fancy food any day." The others cheered, laughing, slurping loudly as steam rose from the bowls. Noel just smiled, looking down at the simmering pot. The smell reminded him of home, of rainy afternoons, of family gathered around a small table, of his mother's laughter echoing in a tin-roof house. He didn't chase fame, he didn't need to. In a city that forgot how to feel, his soup reminded them what warmth tasted like. And as he cleaned up the kitchen that night, someone scribbled on the whiteboard near the schedule. Next week as staff meal, Noel as sinigang, Don tea forget the tamarind. He stared at it for a moment, then smiled. Because for the first time in a long while, he felt like he belonged again, not just as a worker, but as someone whose story simmered quietly in every bowl served. He wiped his hands, turned off the lights, and whispered, "Salamat." The kitchen, still warm with the scent of sinigang, didn't answer, but it didn't have to. It had already heard him,